Welcome to the Man Cave Podcast with Dan Casper.
Gatorade, according to This Is Your Business of Sports, brought to you by Security Financial Bank. According to the Sports Business Journal, Gatorade launches its biggest campaign ever, featuring Michael Jordan narrating the return of Is It In You? The campaign will revive the tagline, as well as the Gatorade-colored sweat seen in those ads from the 90s and the early 2000s. Obviously, I had the video up so I could see that. I don't know if you saw the video or not.
I've not yet seen it, but I did see there was a story, but so I'm going to go find that now.
So Dame was on there for a quick minute there, but the athletes that were featured, first one was Caitlin Clark. There was a couple WNBA players on there. Jason Tatum, Josh Allen was also on there. So they're bringing it back.
Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing it here.
Yeah.
Yep, I see the Gatorade-colored sweat.
Mm-hmm. Everybody can kind of picture that back in the day, right?
Yep.
Sort of thing there.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of some of these, like, I'll go back to that era. Can you think of I almost feel like for brand, awareness or product awareness or whatever, is it fair to say the NBA, how do I want to phrase? Because when I think about some of the stuff, when I was a big NBA fan as a kid, Sprite and Gatorade and McDonald's, I all associated with the NBA because of Jordan, Grant Hill with Sprite. I think even Anthony Edwards is doing Sprite stuff now with that. I feel like the NBA, that's one of the things they do really well, is that those certain type. I mean, I've always ever since probably my whole life, Gatorade. When I think of that, I don't think of the NFL, even though it's on the sidelines. I still think of the NBA. Sprite, I think of the NBA, and I still think of McDonald's with the NBA, and that goes to Jordan and such back in the day.
See, I'm different on Gatorade, but that's solely because one of my formative Gatorade moments was the Gatorade Bath Super Bowl 21.
Oh, see, you got that too, yeah.
When I was 8 years old, so it's the Gatorade shower in football is what I always associate that with. But again, it depends on your era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you were 10 years, approximately 8-ish years beyond that.
Right.
When the NBA became a bigger deal for that.
Exactly. And, I mean, we used to have a poster in the studio here of Jordan Duncan, and it was a Gatorade poster.
Mm-hmm.
The Gatorade squirt bottles, I wanted to have one because I saw it on the NBA sidelines. Now Hudson has it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that old. But still, that's, I just, the NBA to me has always been really good when it comes to, that specific type of brand. I mean, Sprite's been there for how many years now? Yeah. I don't think it's as big as it. For whatever reason, I just think of Grant Hill all the time now. Whenever I think of Sprite, I think of Grant Hill. I think even LeBron started off doing a little Sprite stuff back in the day. I think he even started off doing a little McDonald's stuff too. But those are we're starting to see that revive of the NBA with some of these brands a little bit?
Probably. I mean, whatever works. I mean, for starters, always think of nostalgia and what people are drawn back. Like what will make them feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is something effectively nostalgic, you for a brand that for whatever reason may need to have an increase in its market share is struggling. I don't know off the top of my head, and I could look it up to see if Gatorade is struggling. But
it is interesting that it says it's their biggest campaign ever.
Huh.
Right? I mean, I'm surprised. Maybe there's something else going on, but it's like when it says largest, it's like Gatorade, really? Okay.
Yeah.
What's their competition? To Powerade?
Possibly, or other energy drinks or supplements.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking through here and
I can picture them. There's the other ones out there. Was it? There's some other ones out there too. But gosh, I remember as a kid, it was like All Sport is what I wanted because Shaq endorsed All Sport. Remember All Sport had a little carbon-y fizz, the glass bottles? Oh, yeah.
Vaguely. I do remember when Powerade broke in around the mid-'90s.
Mm-hmm.
Had that for a while.
Yeah. I was an All Sport straight up because of Shaq. And it had the little carbonation to it. Man, bring that back. I know they got the powder stuff, but that ain't the same. Got to bring it back in the bottles.
The drink, yes. Yeah. By the way, in this ad, I love, my favorite part of the ad is Jason Tatum looking up at the rafters.
Oh, and the blank banner.
The blank one. Because they haven't... Which, by the way, they may need to change this in...
I was going to say, they might have changed that here
in a month. And right now, based on who you say is the favorite, would be that. But I love that. To be, in the moment, yeah, you play for maybe the ultimate NBA team. you haven't won a title. And they're acknowledging that. I love how they put that in there. Like, he's got to try harder to make this happen. That's great.
By the way,
acknowledging a weakness and how, well, and also, I guess the message is, but if you have Gatorade, you can get there.
But the Jordan at the end is got to be AI generated or a little bit younger.
That doesn't look like current Jordan.
That is not current Jordan.
No.
Not at all.
It's a little...
little younger.
Yeah, face has grown out a little bit more. I mean, that's age. Plus, when he says that, too, as I see that, it does look a little artificial, just the way he says it.
Yeah.
The face looks a little, So, yeah, I like that.
But it is very NBA-centric. I guess they have Josh Allen in there.
And the Olympics.
Yep.
Good timing on that, of course. Yeah, it's NBA, which, of course, is... That's where you're getting a lot of that. WNBA is white hot right now. Caitlin Clark is, so of course you're going to do that. NFL, because duh. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, if you want what's big right now in the spring of 2024, probably the only thing you're missing is something international soccer related, because that's always going to be huge. This covers a lot of the bases right there, and also with who you can get for your endorsements.
What's the one brand? I know this is kind of a very open-ended question and could go a bunch of different ways here. But, like, is there a brand when you think about, like, a product? When you think of a sport immediately.
Ooh.
Like a certain sport immediately.
Oh, wow.
Like, for me, like I already said, Gatorade to me is basketball. I know you make a great point with the football and the Gatorade bass and all that, but when I think of Gatorade, I think of like the guys on the bench and their paper cups, you know, that sort of stuff, and the squeeze bottles in there. So, I mean, I'm not talking about like Jordan brand, because obviously that's basketball, and I know they're into baseball and football now too. But I'm talking like specific product type of ones.
Wow, that's a good question.
Like, to me, it's Gatorade and basketball are just like together.
Like certain drinks, like I will say, Dr. Pepper is getting more and more college
football. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
More, I mean, and I've
bowl
drank,
season,
right? And I've drank Dr. Pepper all my life, but it's becoming more associated because of the advertising campaign, of course.
Like, what would be the NFL's?
Ooh,
is it Brewskis?
I don't know.
I don't know if it is anymore.
No.
Remember, like, when cigarettes used to be all over the place? And
yeah.
Marlboro Man and Winston.
I mean,
NASCAR was a big one, right? Winston Cup race and all that. So,
I mean, the tastes great, less filling. That was a baseball one for a while. All those.
They're bringing that back. See all these brands bringing back their retro, old school sayings.
Because they worked.
Yeah.
That's the thing. A lot of it worked. This is one where, like, I'm not thinking of them off the top of my head, but if I saw them, I think I'd make more of an association. Again, Gatorade for me is more of a football thing. But again, I think it's the time of when was that a big deal? The Gatorade bath and running around and trying to find Bill Parcells.
I mean, come on. The song, If I Could Be Like Mike, Gatorade. That's a Gatorade commercial.
I wanna be like
right?
Mike.
I mean,
yeah.
Gosh. Maybe the common thing here is just it's all Jordan.
Well, right.
Yeah.
If Jordan endorses something...
If Jordan endorsed something, you're probably going to get it.
I probably associated Nike more with basketball for a while, but now that they've become so omnipresent and everything uniform, that's watered down.
It's funny you mentioned that one because Hudson's on that kick right now because of basketball.
Huh.
Like, he got his first pair of Nikes because he sees basketball players wear it all the time.
Huh.
But I was that way too, but I originally first I want a pair of Reeboks because of Shaq. And now I know Shaq's trying to do more with it, and I think he's like, president of the basketball operations for Reebok and all that. But yeah, I mean, when you're kids, you're younger, you're trying to emulate what you see on TV, right? Still think it's weird that, Jordan, what did he do? Ballpark Franks. Remember those ads?
Yes.
It's like, hot dogs. Okay. All right. Got it. But I remember at that time, it was like, Ballpark Franks got to be the best hot dogs out there if Jordan needs them.
And speaking of this, you hear the Usingers endorsements all the time. First time ever, I bought Usingers the other day. Put them on the grill. I haven't had them yet because it was one of those where like I grill a whole bunch of stuff and we haven't had it yet for dinner. But I did that because I'm like, I have never had one. But Euchre's talking about it all the time. And honestly, I'm looking at it like, if he's saying it's good, then they're going to be good. That's the whole point of doing that. Like what you said with Mike Stormer. Okay, well, I'm going to go try something there because you said that. I'm like, it's got to be good. That's what you make an association that way. That's advertising 101.
Is Jordan the best endorser of all time?
Oh, wow. I think possibly. Well, okay. Yes, he is, and I'm saying it because of what he did in 1991 on Saturday Night Live. The women's freshness ad.
Oh, I don't know.
You've never
I don't know
seen
if I saw
that
this
one?
I might have, and it's just not clicking with me because as soon as you said SNL and Jordan, I thought the Bears skit and with the Bears fans on there. Like Jordan was on it. Was that the same episode?
Let's see. No, here we go.
Mr. Jordan, do you think it's as hard to be a teenage girl as it is to be a basketball player?
I'm sure it is, Jessica. It's never easy to do your best, no matter who you are.
That's what I thought. Can I ask you another question, Mr. Jordan?
Of course.
Well, sometimes I get that not-so-fresh feeling, you know?
Oh, okay.
I only get that feeling sometimes, Jessica. That's why there's new feminine secret.
Yep.
Feminine secret.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember that because that was right around the time Sorry, but this was the ad. Do you douche? It was a very popular ad campaign in the 1980s. That was like a thing. So that was like the combination of all those ads are out there, so that whole not so fresh feeling, so everyone got it. And Jordan was starting to become Michael Jordan endorser extraordinaire because that SNL episode. Let's see, when was he on in 91? I'm trying to think. Was this before or after the NBA Finals? It was September of 1991. So yes, this was after. So he was now a superstar. This is the first moment he had made the leap. And so then they did that. And there was a parody of how Michael Jordan will endorse anything and make it a big deal. Mm-hmm. So that's a long way of answering the question of, yes, Michael Jordan is the best.
So was he the best? Was he also the first big-time athlete? I mean, yes, there was the Bird and the Magic Johnson Converse commercials. I remember that. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, was he like the very, very, like the first, like, superstar? First athlete to become such a superstar?
Oh, boy. I mean, you could say Euchre preceded him, but that wasn't really more because he was an athlete. It's because he was a sports figure. I think Jordan might have been the first white hot superstar. Again, SNL was parodying that, and I don't think they or really any other parody entity parody that. That's usually one of your best gauges of when is something big, when it gets parodied.
There's a couple more that because I googled this for Jordan, and there's a couple that I forgot that are to me when I think of Jordan that should be Hanes, right? The T-shirts, the bacon neck or whatever, that sort of stuff. Wheaties. I mean, Wheaties as a kid was okay.
Gotta eat your Wheaties.
I was in sports. I wanted to be in sports. I wanted to play sports. So what do I have to do? I gotta eat Wheaties. Mm-hmm. It was a thing to go down the cereal aisle to see who was on the cover of Wheaties or who was on the box of Wheaties. That was a thing. Oh, Packers won the Super Bowl. I got to make sure to get some Wheaties because they're going to be on the box. Is that still a thing? I know there's still athletes on it, but is it as big of a thing anymore?
I mean, it's not as big as it used to be. But like in the 80s, like I'd be keeping boxes of.
Maybe that's what I should collect, old Wheaties boxes.
Yeah, because I think I saved, I cut out the front when the Twins won the World Series, and that was on the cover of, that was on a Wheaties box. Mm-hmm. And I cut it out, and I think I still have it somewhere. Okay, so I'm just trying to find, a list. I was expecting a Wikipedia page that went on for, 5 pages.
I forgot he did the Rayovac one, too.
Yeah. Nike, Gatorade, Hanes, Ultra Hair Products, Upper Deck, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Wheaties, Chevrolet, Ballpark Franks. A timeline of his contracts. What am I missing here? Yeah, Chevrolet, Nike were in 84. Wheaties was in 88. Hanes was in 89.
Are you looking at the Bleacher Report article?
Yes.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola Gatorade in 91, Upper Deck in 92, McDonald's 93.
Man, yeah. He did everything.
Yep. Yep. And made a difference with them. That's why. One of the others I think of is Charles Barkley.
Really?
Yeah. I think of, he had probably one of the most iconic ads. I'm not a role model.
Oh, that one.
It stays to this day.
Yep.
It does. But he's still in ads also to this day. Mm-hmm. So
Subway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, on all of those. So Michael Jordan is, I think he is the best at it.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think of any other ones.
I know, I can't really find much more. So it feels like he endorsed everything. And he didn't. Mm-hmm. It's just he endorsed the big ones. So, of course, by doing that, then you think, he's endorsing everything. And he's not. Because really all you got to do to get that impression is endorse white-hot brands, so you're associated with the biggest names, and then maybe have one other one like, no offense to Ballpark Franks. Okay, so that's one that's a little bit off. You're like, he'll even do that. And then you start to think, well, is he doing like obscure auto dealerships in Dayton, Ohio? He's not. But you start to think that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, we got to take a quick break. We're a little long, but I think I found what I might start collecting. Wheaties box now.
Not a bad idea. It's
I'm
a little
looking at
nichey.
eBay.
Nichey, but not impossible.
I'm looking at eBay. They're not badly priced either.
I'm going to go back and find those old 80s Gatorade commercials with the green and blue squares we're filling up there. But you've seen those, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's classic. And a little too retro, but still.
I had a couple of Wheaties ones from when Green Bay won Super Bowl 45, but they got flood damaged on there. So.
Ooh, not good.
Yeah,
you could probably find them somewhere.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, do that. That's different.
It is different, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Let me do some more. Let me do some more research here.
Cool.
Shall we? So.
Yes.